In studio, Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts is in the house. I'm excited. Feel free to share this out. We're going to throw this on the FM, and we're going to have some fun learning about some really cool events that are coming up and things going on right now. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now, it's 9:01 on a Wednesday morning. I have some guests in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then share what they have going on.
I'm Al Garza. I'm the Grand Master of Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts and Premier Martial Arts International.
Hi, I'm Eddie Torgrosa. I'm the Program Director of the Dickinson School for Premier Martial Arts.
How y'all doing today?
We're doing fantastic.
We are great.
Excited to be here.
I'm excited that y'all are here. It's been a while. I'm trying to think last year. I know we did some stuff, but I think it was all through Zoom.
Right. Yes.
So we got you back in studio, and last year was interesting. Ups and downs. The school persevered and kept doing classes online. Now y'all are in-house, and things are thriving, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're coming back strong. We're getting a lot of new members, and a lot of our regulars are coming back, and we're excited to be able to help people move again because just the turnout looks like people were needing to get out and work out, and they're working out. We're enjoying that.
Yes, sir. So I know y'all are busy in the community. You know, in the past, y'all have come up to Abundant Life Christian School where my son goes and put on some like summer camps, and y'all are always going out and doing these different, demonstrations and trainings at schools. Have y'all been able to continue to do those?
We have. We've slowly been coming back to be able to visit the local schools and do our ABCs of success, our health and safety, our kids' safety. We, in fact, visited. Eddie and the team went to Santa Fe last week and visited there. We've been there 2 times since we've been back visiting the schools, and one of them was for the ABCs of Success, and the other one was for Kids Safe. And it's really an honor and a pleasure for us to be able to impact our community, all ages, and teaching them how to be safe. Teaching them the 90% of it is mental awareness and things like that. They're mental, and then there's that 10% that we draw from the martial arts to be able to teach self-defense. And Eddie went last week. He'll tell you a little bit about some of the topics that they covered with the kids last week, and let's hear a little bit from him.
How'd it go?
It was amazing. We spent 2 full days, taught every child and a few teachers. And the thing is, we teach this in our schools, so we want to bring it out to other schools as well. And it's this time of the year that kids are going to be out. It's summer. They're riding their bikes. They're in the parks. They're at the pools. And they're more vulnerable to strangers coming up to them. So we want to make children aware of it's not okay for a stranger to talk to you. If a stranger talks to you, what do? We teach them about the different lures because sometimes they'll use adults will say, hey, I need directions. Adults don't need directions from children. They'll promise to give them candy, toys, games, puppies. They'll say something like, hey, your mother or father's in trouble. They told me to come get you. They don't know your parents. See, a stranger's a stranger until your parents introduce you to them. And we make our children aware of this. Then some of the things that we do is we talk about safety zones, touches, if a stranger approaches you, how to bring out loud, how to project your voice. Start with saying, hey, back off. If they continue, back off, don't touch me there. And that makes people around the area say, hold on, something's not right. So it attracts people to look. Then we teach them, if a stranger grabs you, what do? We teach them to drop their weight so that they don't take them out of the zone. Because the first zone is your first danger zone. We teach our kids it's a danger zone. You want to not be pulled into a second danger zone because then the chances are even worse for a child to get out of a situation. We teach them so drop their weight, drop on the ground and like a turtle on their back kicking, just like having we call it a hissy fit. We've seen our brothers and sisters have them. So kick and scream and keep saying, help, help, don't touch me there. And people will come, teaching them to latch on to anything that's around them, biting, scratching, anything they need to do. Because we want them to be safe. And we look at these videos of children who were abducted in the past, and many of them have never been shown this. So when a stranger comes and says, hey, I got puppy, hey, I got this or that, these different lures, they don't know any better. But in us taking the time just to teach the kids, and then we actually have the kids come up and we do it with them. We teach them how to kick, how to jab fingers in people's eyes, how to bite, scratch, kick, punch. I mean, we teach them all little self-defense things so they have a chance to get away.
At what age can you start teaching and they'll retain and be able to practice that?
We start teaching them about the culture of self-defense and being in that environment as young as 3. Mm-hmm. We try to make it to where it is educational and fun at the same time, and so because they're so young, sometimes you can't get too serious with them as far as self-defense. You don't want to scare them, but we need to educate them. And we find our role is not just educating the child, but it's also educating the parents. Like the Kids Safe classes that we did last week, where the parents, we're inviting them to listen in. When we're teaching that opens a window of opportunity for the parents to talk about that subject, because sometimes if they talk about it just out of the blue, it doesn't mean as much. But when we've shared some things with them that they can cover with it, it means a little bit more. There's, like I say, that opportunity to communicate is there for us for a little season.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily something that you think about to bring up and have that conversation with your child,
right.
Or even if there's like a code word. I remember being in school and them saying, maybe if there's a code word, but now most of the younger kids have cell phones and there's all kind, like you said, hey, they're a stranger until your parent introduces you. Right. Until then, why would they sense a stranger?
And as they get more and more advanced, we try to help them understand it's not just the stranger that is the danger. Mm-hmm. There is a bad guest. A bad guest is somebody who comes into your house that you've welcomed into your home. It's somebody you know. That is a lot of times the one who's creating the crime. And then there's a bad guy. That's the guy that you see on TV wanted, see a mugshot of him. And then there's bad situations like, things like 9/11, things we can't do anything about. So we focus on the things we can. And when you talk about the violent things that we teach them, violence is a tool that the enemy out there uses. And when we teach how to use that tool, there's a responsibility that really a young child may not have the responsibility to do that. But we teach them so many mental things before you even get to that part. Like I was thinking, we have the ABCs of conflict avoidance. And they're taught avoidance. They're talking being calm and breathing. They're taught communicate with confidence and respect. Don't put yourself in a worse situation than you're already in. Your environment can be used to your advantage. Yell fire instead of help. Get away. All that before you hit hard, hit fast, hit first. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it requires that you hit hard, hit fast. So that's part of the education process.
Wow.
And even with the awareness of what's a safe touch, we basically say anything that your bathing suit covers, if someone touches you there, let your parents know right away. It doesn't matter what they tell you. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so if you're watching on social media, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to ask you to share this out. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're listening on 99.5 FM, thank you so much. Call a friend. Tell them to listen to KHEAradio.com. Put the radio on 99.5. And if you have any questions, let us know, and I'll get those asked and answered. Right now, we're talking to Grandmaster Garza. We're talking to Eddie with Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts. There's locations in Pearland, Dickinson, League City, and they are awesome for the community. Grandmaster Garza, whenever you started, I guess, practicing martial arts, opening schools, years and years ago, did you imagine that this would be, I guess, was it always the vision to have this role in the community, go out and instruct, students and just, help that next generation?
When I first started, my vision was a little bit smaller in the sense that I envisioned teaching the kids how to become champions, how to get them off the streets of Dickinson, how to have goals, and how to have character. And so that was my goal. Then all of a sudden, my students became adults. I had adults, lots of adults. And so the beauty of it is that when we teach principles of self-defense, they're not necessarily aimed at an age group. A principle is a principle that should be timeless and apply to everybody. We just have to break it down for the child communicate with at their age. We do women, we do law enforcement. I just got invited to be on the advisory board for the League City PD self-defense tactics training, and have been involved in that with them. And used to teach the police academy at College of the Mainland. We have at University of Texas law enforcement systems. We still are involved in that, and so we produced people who are leading in those areas, or we have helped some of them. And so I'm very honored to have the role and to have a team of people that go out and service our community. I want to bring up the 22nd. Is this a good time to talk about that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a health and safety fair May 22nd, right?
Right, yes. And, we're such a relationship culture. We have a culture of love and relationship building. And so when people think about martial arts, when they think about us, I want them to think about the relationships that we have. So we've invited a lot of people. We're making some new contacts, and we've invited a lot of the contacts that we have in the community to come out. I'm going to let Eddie tell you a little bit about that. He's got some hard work that he's put into bringing this thing together, too.
So it's going to be on Saturday, May 22nd, at our League City School, which is at 2047 West Main. And we're going to have fire truck, police cars, bouncy house, a lot of different vendors, food trucks. Did I mention food trucks? Ever since I moved to Texas, I've learned all kinds of food. It's beautiful. So one of the things that we really wanted to do was to give back to our community. So that's why we're putting this together. And even in saying that, all our vendors, we didn't ask them for a contribution or anything. We said, no, we're going to give you a table. Come and share with our families. Help them, because it's a health and safety event. Help them have a better choice of life. I was out at the different farmers markets, so we got different people coming and bringing great food. And it's a way for us to help each other grow. And we're looking forward to it.
So who's invited? Is it members only? The community? Is everybody welcome to attend?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Anybody who's hearing our voice and watching us live, you are invited. Bring your family, your friends. We're going to have a great time. And it's on Saturday the 22nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
It will be a family-friendly event, so bring your kiddos out. We have some kids safe. We have ladies self-defense class that will be taught, and a lot of neat people to meet.
And on that Saturday at 9:30 a.m. and at 12:30 p.m., we will be giving that Kids Safe class that we spoke about earlier. So if you have young ones, bring them down 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
And for all the moms and teen girls out there, I would encourage y'all to come to the ladies self-defense class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a powerful class. My daughter, who's 22, going to U of H, she took the class and she was like blown away. She's like, Dad, I need to come work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of things do y'all go over in those women's self-defense classes?
Well, we teach them about when to fight, when not to, how to project voice, how to strike using their natural body weapons, how to use their environment to their advantage, how to be aware of their environment, how to avoid it if possible, and when you do everything you can to avoid and you can't, then how to use violence as the tool.
Okay.
And then we have some of our brave men who put on these suits, and we have scenarios where they're put under pressure.
Yeah.
And these women get to actually test out the different things that they've just learned on how to protect themselves in the various situations.
There's times where some of the women have had situations that they were survivors from, and I think from a healing standpoint and from a therapy standpoint, it's very therapeutic for them to go through the training.
I know in some of the Krav Maga classes that I've taken with you before, you said most of the time whenever there's an attack, it's probably going to be from someone you know. So even having good technique, not trying to like permanently injure someone, right, but enough to like diffuse the situation.
Diffusing the situation is first call, yeah, for sure. Communicating with confidence, respect, and respecting your space, their space, and getting control of that, and doing things like that. as well as like I said, it goes from moderate situations and dealing with moderate situations and how to use moderate means to extreme situations, and then an extreme situation requires extreme methods.
So that there's going to be some ladies self-defense going on at the
Yes.
Health and Safety Fair?
As well, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then what is the ABCs of self-defense and some of the other things?
That's what they learn. That's the whole school learns about that. And
Okay.
then all our principles go under those ABCs. That's how a person can remember them and memorize them.
Mm-hmm. Can we kind of go over through some of the things y'all offer? Because y'all offer a lot. There's a lot of different classes,
Right.
something for everybody. I guess I'm going to read this comment. This is from Alana. She said, "Hey, Gardy, talking about AGPMA, she said, they've really helped my kiddos come out of their shells, and it's really helped their anxiety. Couldn't ask for a better place to
Awesome.
train."
Yeah, I think that's the culture that we have is the mental aspects and the character aspects of our training is lifelong stuff. It's like you use it 7 days a week, and I tell people, your sidekick, that's going to be important when you need it, but you're not going to do it 7 days a week, 24 hours. You're using the mental aspects, the character training, the communication skills are all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's every day.
And one of the things that, even speaking to some of the parents who their children grew up shy, quiet, are now instructors. in all our
And I would be
schools.
one of those guys. When I was young, I was shy. I was that guy that was going to skip school if I could, if I had to do a presentation. Martial arts brought me out of my shell, and I love being a part of the process of seeing the kids come out of themselves and grow into who they're going to be, finding their voice and being an inspiration to the other people.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. So what are some of the classes? I know that there's Krav Maga, Tai Chi.
Krav Maga is, no nonsense self-defense. It's really like a mixed martial arts with self-defense focus. I do have a Tai Chi class that I teach. That's very peaceful. It's very slow moving. I recommend people don't stop moving. When they're injured, when they have age, whatever it is that would cause them to stop moving, learn how to keep moving. And Tai Chi is a very controlled, peaceful way where you're controlling the movements. You're never going to do more than you can. We do mixed martial arts, MMA. We have a couple of fighters that are doing MMA. A few fighters that are amateur and some that are pro. My base style was Taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, and then Jiu-Jitsu. So we also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And we do modern arnis, which is a Filipino martial arts. We do small circle Jiu-Jitsu, which is a pressure point art. And we do cross kickboxing. And then anything anybody's interested in, that if we are interested in it or we have a background, we try to help people with that.
Yes, and then we have the black belt training program. So we're raising up black belts, and who have now, they walk with pride and with such a sound character. And these are the ones, and not only children, we're talking adults too. And you see them now, fast forward years from now, that they're just leaders in the community. And whether it's in their churches, their businesses, it's amazing because I get to meet so many of them.
I train early whenever I get to train, right? Because my family, and I'm like, got to get it done early and I really want to do it, and I love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at that same time, there will be kids that are earning their accomplishments, earning those belts. Right. They're up just as early as I am. For me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get up, 6 a.m.
Right.
to be there at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. And then I see there's a parking lot full of kids that were there before me. They're out there working to make it happen. A lot of times people think, oh yeah, they're black. No, so they're out there earning it and putting the work in, and you have to be dedicated to be able to achieve that.
Yes, sir. I think the tool of discipline, the transformation that takes place when someone is moving from the underbelts to the black belt ranks, there's a transformation that takes place spiritually. There's a transformation physically, emotionally, confidence-wise, and we ask a lot of our students. They have to show up, and they spend 3 hours a morning for a process of 8 weeks, 6 days a week. And, we get everything we can out of them. We put everything we can into them, and we get everything that we can out of them. It's an amazing process to be a part of it. if you're watching and ever want to see a graduation, I would recommend it would be July 31st will be our graduation for our Black Belt Class 2021. It's edutainment because we're educating the audience and entertaining them. And it's using martial arts and the arts of martial arts. It's a pretty awesome adventure.
Yes, it is. So I have to bring it up. I saw a picture shared the other day, and you were honored, I think, like the Hall of Fame Lifetime Achievement Award. What did you get?
That? Yeah. Well, the invitation started last year. It was actually supposed to happen because of the COVID. It was delayed, and so this past weekend was the actual event. So I got inducted into the Hall of Fame and Lifetime Achievement Award. So I got several awards, along with many others who were at that event too. In fact, Chuck Norris and his wife were recognized. They were not able to travel because of the COVID deal, but they were honored, and some others were honored. And to me, it was just such an honor. But, I think of Big Daddy Weave and my story. To tell you my story is to tell you of Jesus, to tell you of him, and to tell you the hope that brought to my life. And so it's just an exciting time, to see that.
Well, it's deserved, and you've done amazing things in the community, and I'm excited. Even in the time that I've had the blessing and honor to know you, the things that y'all have been able to do, I would say y'all have accomplished more than people would in a lifetime in the past 3 years since I've known it. Y'all stay busy.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit leads us, guides us through it. We pivoted and went to the Zoom, and that worked for some people. When we came back, that worked for some people, and we've just continued to try to service them as best we can.
Going forward, what's the vision?
Moving forward, our vision is to, we have the 3 locations. We want to impact the community for Christ, using martial arts as the vehicle. I tell people, if you call me religious, I'll sidekick you. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
And I'll tell you right now, you don't want that sidekick. You don't want the sidekick, no.
Yeah, so I say that with humor, but I say it seriously because we have a love for all mankind, all people. And we welcome everyone. We have people from different faiths, whatever that might be. Main thing is if they want to learn, if they want to, we want to be able to know that we're helping to develop good humans. That's all ages, and there's no age group. They say that we have sheep, we have wolves that prey on the sheep, that are unaware and unprepared. They're caught that way, and then there's the sheepdog that protect the sheep from the wolves, and we produce sheepdog that protect the sheep from the wolves, and that's what we do.
So before we went on air, I was talking to Eddie and kind of figuring out how y'all got hooked up, and it seemed like it had to have been like a God thing.
Oh, amen.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
And how has that been so far? And maybe even share some of that. How did y'all just hooked up through church, or how did it work?
Yeah, so what happened was my wife filled out, she got a job leading praise and worship for a church in League City, which was in one of our schools, our League City school. So go figure, we're in this school. So I'm like, okay, I haven't worked out since in the martial arts. I took Taekwondo when I was a teenager, loved it, but been traveling on the mission field since 2010. And here I am in this school. Grandmaster Garza comes over. We start talking. I start taking classes in the morning. Then he says, I think I want to meet with you and your wife. And he thought that my wife was going to come aboard and be a part of this organization. Fast forward, I'm going there for the 5:30 kickboxing classes, and God just spoke to me, and I reached out, and I said, the Lord's been talking to me about coming aboard. Prior, I was working for a Christian chicken company, we all know. So I was in a director manager position, and God took me out of there, brought me here, and to walk in your purpose is the greatest thing, because I get up every day and I'm just excited because it's Christ-centered and we get to make an impact. And, this has just been a blessing. And as I speak to other people that I know from Texas, even outside of Houston, they're like, "Oh, you're working with Grandmaster Garza? Oh man, he's amazing!" And that just makes me so proud to be a part of this family.
Yes,
Praise the Lord.
that's awesome. And so I have a friend who I've known since I was a kid, and he's like kind of like a family member. But he's trained, since he was a kid and competed in military all over the world and stuff. And so he always asks me, "You still at Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts?" I was like, "Yes, I am." Man, he'll tell me all these stories of and you would probably know the names. I can't think of them right now. People that he trained under, and how you taught them and trained together in these tournaments that PMA or Al Garza would put on years ago, and always speak at the highest. And anytime you say your name, it's always you just hear the good things about that's been going on in the community for years.
Yeah, exactly.
I think about JJ. Those of you who follow me on Facebook know I open with JJ and I close with SDG. JJ is Jesus Jova, which is Jesus help me, and SDG is Soli Deo Gloria, which is 100% glory to God, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think about that, so that's what I have to say. Jesus help me stay humble and hear from you and be on according to your will on purpose. And that's my only desire, is to give God 100% glory and be used by him, and to bring people relationships like this. It's amazing. We have relationships with people since 1979. I opened in 76. Actually, some that I was with this week that were with me in 77. So it's like, God is a God of relationships. And so when we honor him, he puts amazing people in our life, such as Gardy.
That's right. That's me, yeah. So can we remind people what's happening on May 22nd?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So May 22nd, we're having our premier Health and Safety Day. That's going to be in our League City School, which is at 2047 West Main. And it's going to be a full day from 9 in the morning to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We're going to have fire trucks. The police are going to be there. We're going to have bouncy house. We're going to have different trainings and programs through our schools. At 9:30 and 12:30, we're going to have our Kids Safe program, which we spoke about earlier today. And we're going to have the Women's Defense class. So we're going to have all kinds of fun. We have a lot of great vendors and some amazing food trucks. So come out, get ready. It's a family-friendly event, so share this with your friends. And we look forward to seeing you all there.
All right. Great, Mr. Garza, is there anything else you'd like to share at all?
I think we've said it all, huh? I appreciate being on here, and we love our relationship with the church and with yourself.
Thank you.
Right.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for the FM audience, and then I'm going to try and play this video in case I mess it up.
Cool.
At the end. So thank you for listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM.
Colleges.
All right, so if you're still watching, right now, and a lot of you are, feel free to share this out. What I'm going to do is play a video, but it's kind of it's a little funky setup from the way I have it going. But Cody and PMA put out this amazing video about the health and safety fair that's coming up. So I'm going to try and make this happen, but bear with me. Give me a couple seconds. So it's pretty much going to be a screen share, so you guys are welcome.
What's up, guys? Master Cody with Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about our Kids Safe Workshop. So our Kids Safe Workshop is a course that we do here at Premier Martial Arts every year just before summertime. So we put all of our own students through it, and we also open up free workshops for the community to help empower the kids around us with this training. So the course, what we cover is we talk about what strangers are, talk about who they are, we talk about some common lures and tricks that strangers might use to get kids to go with them. We also put a plan together. We talk about what to do if they're approached by a stranger, how to put boundaries between them and stranger if they can't do that, how to react, what to say to cause a scene, and how to be hard to move. Most importantly, guys, we want to stay where we're at. We don't want to be moved to a secondary location. So we want the kids to know how to drop their weight and be heavy here, how to drop to the ground, how to cause a scene by projecting their voice with confidence. Lots of awesome training goes into this course. You know, me as a dad, I love that we get to do this every year. It opens up great conversation for me and my kids. That way I know that they have a plan in that situation as well. So we invite you guys to come out. Parents, we invite you guys to come out too and be a part of the course, watch it, sit on the edge of the mat and see what we're talking about. That way you guys can, like I said, go home and have these conversations. It's our goal at Premier Martial Arts to empower the community through these workshops and through the training that we offer here to make it a safer place here. All right, guys, so on May 22nd at League City Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts, we're offering a health and safety day. So not only do we have vendor tents and food and bounce house and fire truck coming out, lots of cool stuff going on, but on top of that, at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., we are offering this Kid Safe workshop for free for the community. So bring your family out, put them through the course. It would be our honor to teach you guys and help empower your kids through this Kid Safe workshop. We hope to see you there.
Oh, wait.
Today was awesome. The instructors taught the kids about self-defense and about safety awareness. They taught them about stranger danger. Very important for the kids to hear this. They learned about who strangers are, what to do. They learned certain aspects of fighting to protect themselves, stances, and things like that. So it was super important. It was very wonderful.
It was beneficial because it gave several of the most common scenarios that kids are likely to encounter in their day-to-day life, and it gave them the responses so that they don't have to wonder what to do if something shocking happens to them or they're scared. It gave them a framework where they can picture the scenario in their mind and then know what to do to get someone's attention and to get some help.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for
Good
hanging
job.
out and joining us today. I appreciate